sorry to interrupt your news programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Illinois Central Gulf Railroad, the Mississippi State Highway Patrol, and Operation Lifesaver. At 4:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, chilling calls to 911 were made of a crossing collision in Brookhaven, Mississippi. As a tragic result, the truck driver was killed instantly. A crewman also suffered critical injuries from the collision. At this time, mandatory evacuations are in place of Brookhaven. Take a battery radio and tune to 640 FM on your radio dial for later statements on this dangerously developing story. Stay tuned for further updates. The trailer that was demolished was carrying around 6,800 gallons of crude oil. The locomotives had plowed into the trailer at around 80 miles per hour, fully igniting the fuel and setting the locomotives and its cargo on fire. 5 other motorists suffered 3rd and 4th degree burns and other critical injuries. They are being airlifted to intensive care units. The locomotives involved low-nose GP38 number 1776, low-nosed GP40 number 3002 and 3006, and high-hood GP99091 suffered serious to maximal burns and damages. 1776 was burned to the frame and is being sent to the scrapper's torch in Jackson. 3002 also was twisted and log-jammed in the fires and will also be scrapped. The other 2 units will be sent to Paducah for rebuilding. Stay tuned for further updates. The NTSB and Operation Lifesaver are speculating that the truck driver who was killed in the fiery collision was indeed responsible for the crash. Streets near Thayer Road are being closed until further notice. The investigation continues as the engineer is fully cooperating with NTSB and FRA officials. He said he blasted his air horn when he crashed into the tanker trailer at around 65 to 80 miles per hour. Evacuation shelters are being placed for residents near the vicinity of the collision. Take a battery-powered radio and tune to 640 FM or 1240 FM on your radio dial serving your stations surrounding your areas. Stay tuned for updates on your radio dial as the story develops. The engineer of 1776 has been confirmed to being deceased. The other truck driver sustained moderate injuries. Both brakemen sustained critical injuries and 4th and 5th degree burns from being soaked in the fuel-drenched flames. The engineer of 3006 is still fully cooperating with NTSB and FRA officials. The second truck driver is being taken in for questioning by NTSB officials. It is most likely the truck driver's safety record was beyond inconsistent with included 5 violations for failure to yield and failure to stop at highway crossings and intersections. Anyone in the shelters, stand by for later instructions. The crew and the caboose are fully evacuated to area hospitals. The investigation still continues but is awaiting further conclusions. Stay tuned for updates as the story develops. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast stations shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted programming by request from the United States government to participate in this emergency. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to provide news coverage for your areas. You are listening to the emergency action notification message. Do not use your telephones, as they are to be kept open only for emergency use. The emergency action notification has been activated. We interrupt your news programming. This is a national emergency. This message has been transmitted by request from Operation Lifesaver and Illinois Central Gulf Railroad personnel. Failure to yield was confirmed as the result and cause of this horrendous collision. The second truck driver has since been arrested and charged with 2 counts manslaughter and other felonious charges. The people who were airlifted to area hospitals are in stable condition. Anyone living in the shelters, you are now free to leave your shelters and return to your homes. We thank you for your amazing cooperation during this critical emergency. We now return to your stations in conjunction with the FCC to regularly scheduled programming.